Namaste students, welcome to our social science class. In the previous class we learnt about houses in villages. We learnt about the mud houses and the thatched roofs where mud, bamboo and straw were used. We also compared Santosh house from the past and the Santosh new house. Right, in today's class we are going to learn about houses in cities. Yes, this is block 4.2 houses in cities. Dear students, what do you see in this picture? Yes, they are multi-story buildings or also called as apartments. Okay, multi-story buildings, right? Let's move ahead. We already know about houses in villages. Today, we will learn about the features of houses in cities and experience of living in them. Okay, we are going to learn about houses in cities and how is it to live in these houses. So, for that we need a picture of bungalow, a multi-story building and of course your content book, workbook and a notebook. Let us learn these keywords. We have three keywords here: bungalow, courtyard, story. Bungalow, a house which has many rooms but all on the ground floor. I repeat, bungalow means a house which has many rooms but all on the ground floor. Next, courtyard, an open area within the house surrounding by rooms or walls. Courtyard, an open area within the house surrounded by rooms or walls. Story, a level of building. Story, a level of building. So, let us look at these pictures of a bungalow and apartment. Okay. So, here house A is a bungalow, house B is an apartment. You can observe the features of the bungalow. All the rooms are built on the floor. Right? A big joint family can live in this. Whereas in this multi-story buildings, small family live in the apartments and this multi-stories are built one over the other. Right? Now, let us read the questions from the table. Which house is more commonly seen in cities now? House A or house B? House A is a bungalow, right? House B are apartments or multi-story buildings. So, what will you write? Which house is more common in cities now? Yes, we see more of multi-story buildings. So, it is house B. First one is house B. In the box you write. Second question, which house has many stories? Which house has many stories, levels of buildings? That is once again house B. Third question, in which house can more family members stay? See, we learned that in apartments only small families can stay. So, in bungalows more family members can stay. So, that is house A. Fourth question, which house is more likely to have its own courtyard? So, it is house A. The bungalow is more likely to have its courtyard. Right? Let's move ahead. Let us watch this video. This is a bungalow and you can see that mostly in previously cities used to have a lot of bungalows where all the rooms were built on the floor. Generally, big families or joint families used to live in the bungalows. Nowadays, we see more of apartments. Small families can live in this, right? So, let us watch this video once again. Bungalows. All the rooms are built on the ground floor. Big families can live in bungalows. Previously in cities we had more of bungalows, right? This is the picture of apartments. Small families can live in apartments and many families live together in these multi-story buildings, right? How are House A and House B different? House A has its own courtyard while House B does not. House A is a bungalow while House B is a multi-story building. So let us check out these answers. Which house is more commonly seen in cities now? House B. What is House B? The multi-story buildings. We see more of the multi-story buildings. Second question, which house has more stories? Stories means the level of buildings. Yes, once again it is multi-story buildings. That's why we wrote House B. House B means multi-story buildings. House A means bungalows. In which house can more family members stay? In which house can more family members stay? It is bungalow. In bungalow more family members can stay. Next, which house is more likely to have its own courtyard? It is House A, that is a bungalow. How have houses in city changed over time? So, how have the houses changed in cities? Previously in the past, what kind of houses did we have? At present, what are the type of houses that we see in cities? Let's see. Multi-story buildings have many families living in one building, unlike in a bungalow. Okay, in multi-story buildings we see many families. Okay, in each apartment, the flats, different families will be living. So many families in a multi-story building, but not in a bungalow, right? In a bungalow, one family can live, one not. Okay. Houses in cities have changed from large bungalows to small apartments. Larger families lived together in bungalows in the past, but mostly small families live in apartments now. Okay, let us remember once again. Multi-story buildings have many families in one building. Okay, houses in cities have changed from large bungalows to small apartments. Larger families used to live in the bungalows in the past, but now small families live in apartments. Which house would you like to live in? Why? Do you like to live in a bungalow or do you want to live in an apartment? You should answer. We would prefer to live in an apartment because we would have many more families living together. We would have many friends to play with there. Now let us open our workbook, worksheet 4.2. Worksheet 4.2. Let us read the question. Put today's date. Houses in cities. Write past if you think the house is more likely to be from the past, present if you think it could be from the present. Okay. So here you can see on the A picture is a multi-story building, B picture is a bungalow. So you have to write which house was from past. Mostly we have seen in past, and which house is from the present times. Present, past you have to write. So under multi-story building, what will you write? Present or past? Yes, present. At present we see more of such buildings in the cities. So A picture you can write present. P-R-E-S-E-N-T, present. The second picture is bungalow. Yes, this was from past. Nowadays we don't see much of this type of houses. So, past, past. B picture is past. Rekha lives in a house in a city. Question 2, all of you read this. Rekha lives in a house A in a city. Her mother used to live in house B in the same city. Write 2 features of Rekha's house and 2 features of mother's house. Okay. Rekha, house A is Rekha's house. Okay, she lives in city. House B, she used to live. 2 features you should write about Rekha's house and 2 features of her mother's house. Okay, because Rekha at present she is living in the city, so Rekha's house is an apartment. You can write about apartment. And house B, Rekha's mother used to live in the past, then it might have been a bungalow. So, once again you are going to write the differences between a multi-story building and a bungalow. So, house A had many levels in the building and a small family could live in house A. In the house B box you can write there were many rooms in house B and all the rooms were on the ground floor. Now let us read the third question. Which house would you choose to live in? House A or house B? Why? Okay, what kind of house do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a bungalow or do you want to live in a multi-story building? You write this on your own and you should also write why you want to live in that house. Let's move further. Open your content book and let us read this practice questions and answer. Write true or false. A. About 100 years ago, there were many multi-story buildings in cities. Is it true? 100 years ago, were there more of multi-story buildings or bungalows? A1 says that there were more multi-story buildings in cities. So, is it true or false? You decide. Okay, it is false. 100 years back, there were more of bungalows. So, A1 is false. B. Present day buildings are made of concrete, bricks and steel rods. Present day buildings are made of concrete, bricks and steel rods. Yes, it is true. So, you are going to write TRUE true for B1. Second question, how have houses in cities changed over time? Okay, what will you write the answer? Houses in cities in the past were more of bungalows. Houses in cities in the past were more of bungalows. But now, in the present days, we see more of the multi-story buildings. That is the answer. Third question, what is your house like? Describe some of its features. So, this is about your own house. How is it? Whether it is a bungalow, whether it is a multi-story building, an apartment in that, or whatever it might be, you should write about your house. What is it like? And you should also write some sentences about how the house is. How is it built? How many rooms are there? Okay, describe some features. So, we have done the houses in cities. We answered the worksheet questions, we answered the content book questions, we learnt the difference between a bungalow and a multi-story building. Okay, what type of families live in this such kind of buildings. So, that's all for today, students. Thank you. Have a good day.